to you, what you had said earlier, you said people are believing this. Or one, my question, I guess, is I try to fathom why. Like, how is it? And I look for, like, people on the left. I have many friends on the left actually like this, and people that I follow that are actually very pragmatic, or they look at, like, their consensus. Like, I have friends on the left that are calling, complete bullshit on this. Like,
that's good. I'm glad to hear that. I don't have any of those friends.
But there's not. I don't have many. They're very. they're actually my friends that are much smarter than me, and actually that's why I enjoy their company. Like, oh, these people are more well read than myself. They challenge me. They ask pointed questions. But I have noticed they're very intellectually honest. Like, they believe the left is the way to go. They're proud Democrats, but they're being pretty pragmatic, and they actually they're the old school liberals. They believe in free speech.
I like those guys. I'm glad they're around.
Yeah,
there's a few. Not too many of them anymore.
Probably could count that's 2 or 3 people in my life. But I don't know. What's your thought? Why do you think we so easily accept it? We do it both on the left and right. We accept this narrative.
Well, it's just because it's all you hear, and it's like, if you go on Facebook and you have friends that are on the left, you see it all day long, posting these things, posting these same articles and these same quotes and these same memes, and they're just saying the same thing over and over again, and you start to believe it. And all the news networks that you watch, if you're on the left, you watch CNN, you watch MSNBC, and they all say the same thing, and like, you don't get a contradictory point of view. So you're like, yeah, I guess that must be true because that's what everyone's saying.
Do you?
Like, I was out with a friend this weekend who was on the left, and she was talking about how she wanted to get Chick-fil-A because they fund the death of gay people in Uganda, I think it is. And I was like, I don't think that that's true. But I went home and I looked it up, and even PolitiFact, which is a very left-leaning organization, they said that that's not true. Like, there's this like real tenuous connection you can draw if you want to like follow the money 4 or 5 steps down the line, that maybe like someone was in Uganda who Chick-fil-A gave money to, who was advocating for some bill that was advocating for the death penalty.
Just looking for one data point.
But like,
make that.
Yeah, it's like, it's so tenuous. It's such a thin thread. And like, you could do that with any major corporation that gives money to lots of foundations. If you follow the money 3 or 4 steps down the line, you can find something egregious that they're giving money to. Not to mention what the government gives money to. But like, they just believe this because they've been told it. They've heard it over and over again. And so they just think, yeah, it must be true. And same thing on the right. Like, you get in your echo chamber, you hear people say the election was stolen, and you're like, oh, I guess the election was stolen, even though there's no evidence that that's the case.
Even if you tell someone there's no evidence, or it's not true, they'll be like, no, of course there is. And you're kind of stuck in this.
Yeah, you get stuck in a loop. You get stuck in a loop, and you really have to like make an effort to open your mind to what the other side is saying and investigate it and see, is there merit to what the other side is saying? Are they right about this? And most people aren't willing to do that. And so it's tough because, you have a caricature of the other side is they're all ill-informed. If you're on the left, you think everyone on the right is stupid. If you're on the right, you think everyone on the left is an NPC, and you just won't listen to them. And so, a lot of what is circulated is not true on both sides, but it takes effort to find out what's true and what isn't.
I think to what you just said, you just said, that just struck me. You said, you have to actually listen to what people are saying. And I think that's a very true statement, in the sense that I feel that we have, as a society, as a culture, as individuals, we have to look internally. I think we're all somewhat probably guilty of it. But it's hard to miss because everyone's doing it now. It's easy to miss.